Good afternoon, ladies and gents, friends and family. Welcome to the live showcase of the growth story from Eatcosys, the teamwork and also post-merger integration. Well, I believe we're living in a very exciting time, so you're probably wondering why we are mask on. Of course, we are following the SOP and adhering to it, as we are definitely still 1 meter apart. But yes, ladies and gents, thank you so much for taking your time off on a Friday afternoon, tuning in with us as this live showcase is especially brought to you by InvestAQ, which is presented by AQ Markets. For those who have not heard or tuned in InvestAQ shows, we are a financial PR incorporation in Malaysia where we help entrepreneurs and business owners to craft their niche and amplify their presence to the right audience of investors. And of course, here we are helping business owners to grow and also scale across regionally. Now, today's live showcase is exceptionally wonderful, as we're finally just not joined by myself, but also I have a couple of friends who is on the panelists, and all these are business moguls, all these are experienced, seasoned entrepreneurs who will be actually sharing more in depth. Now, there's one thing for sure I know my fellow friends, when we think of running a business at this point of time right now, gone are the days where we want to run businesses all the way from scratch, right from the very beginning. It's very tiring, exhausting, and a long process. And by the time when business starts really picking up, too often entrepreneurs will be worn out, or rather run out of fuel. And this is where we're seeing that too often why businesses are in dire situation. Now, if there is one thing that I've learned from this pandemic, indeed, no man is an island. Collaborative economy, agility business model, and partnership integration is the ways moving forward. And I define this as the new economic business model. Now, certainly we all have heard or seen the rise of gig economies, for example, such as Uber and also Airbnb, which have taken the whole entire technology world by storm. Certainly, of course, this industry has been affected badly, and so declines very sharply in the business growth. But however, when this pandemic, or rather endemic starts subsiding, we will see that the sentiments of people in terms of the preferences of job has definitely changed to more remote job, or rather I would say in a very collaborative approach. Very interestingly, or rather funnily, just a couple of days ago, I came across this very interesting article, and it stated that 30 years ago, our parents actually worked so hard to send kids like us to university, and just to have good jobs. And right now, 30 years later, we are seeing these kids are actually Grab drivers, or rather in a gig economy. Yes. And I think this is where puzzling everybody is how the whole economy world is changing. And that's what I'm saying, that it has moved so much, and the developments has gone so far that where it makes economic models more interestingly. And what's wonderful about this, I believe that these teams that I'm sitting right today have saw an opportunity in helping the F&Bs and also retail market sectors, which is in dire situation that we all can see right now, of course, with the ongoing lockdowns and forcing businesses to shut down. This company, or rather teams, has intelligently integrated a holistic digital solutions approach for helping businesses in the food and beverage and also the retail sectors at all life cycle. So with that, today, ladies and gents, and my friends and families who are tuning in live, or you will be watching replay, this segment we will be particularly going more in depth in understanding first the working dynamics, the working environments with the post-merger situation, and also to really understand overall what this incorporation entails. So on the panel today, I have none other than our very first gentleman who is sitting exactly 1 meter apart from me. It's none other than the CEOs of MyCookingStory. If you're a fan of kitchenware, this name definitely sounds no stranger. You want to say hello? Khalid Gibran.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. And joining Khalid and myself will be the CEO of Nardell Group of Companies, none other than Mr. Bernard Tian.
Hi, thank you for having us.
And last but not least, the brainchild himself. And of course, if you have diligently and attentively followed the AQ show, you've seen this guy, no-brainer, no strangers to the industry. Tham Lih Chung is the chairman of the Eatcosys Group.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Good afternoon.
So it's good that, well, we are doing it here right again. Of course, we're going to see very nice skyscrapers, Kuala Lumpur behind me, seeing that. Now, I'm just going to really dive in very quickly. Thanks, gents, for being here. Now, in not more than 2 minutes, Khalid and also Bernard, could you please share what's your background, entrepreneurial background, and also what does your company do?
Okay, again, thanks, Arthur. So I'm Khalid, and I represent MyCookingStory.com. We are a one-stop solution for home cooks, for all sorts of home cooking services and utensils, right? We're actually, in fact, the largest online kitchenware platform in Malaysia. So my entrepreneurial background, very simple. Since I graduated in New Zealand, I couldn't hold a job. I was getting fired in every job I've had. So then I had no choice but to be my own boss. So that's where I started business. This is probably, My Cooking Story is probably my 12th venture that spans across many countries. New Zealand, where I grew up, Hong Kong, Singapore, the Middle East, and finally here in Malaysia. I came here 16 years ago. I've been focusing my couple of decades worth of experience, entrepreneurial experience, is mainly focusing on the industries of retail, whether it's supermarkets, hypermarkets, convenience stores and fuel retail, as well as loyalty. And of recent time, about 18 months ago, thanks to the current pandemic, I suppose, where it sort of propelled me into becoming a e-compreneur. So I'm now into e-commerce. So these are the sectors I cover. That's 2 minutes, Arthur?
Yep, absolutely. And I know a bit of a story. My cooking story was just 18 months ago. Khalid is still was quite new in social media and e-commerce. Get me right. I remember that story. And here he is right now, e-commerce master. But we will get definitely in depth to understand more about my cooking story. Thanks for that sharing. Bernard, and yourself.
Well, I'm Bernard, and I run a company called Nardell. We are basically a merchant partnership companies where we work with merchants, help them to build their business by introducing them to loyalty program partners such as the bank, the credit cards, the MNCs such as the telcos and the insurance company and Petronas, which is our latest client. So basically, this is what we do. Nardell is my 4th company. And it's been, this is our 15th year. And yeah, that's basically where we are. And basically that's how we have been. And I've been building this company from ground zero in 2006.
Seasoned entrepreneurs on the panel today. But of course, I think this is it's a very significant question before we really go into a more complex part of the live show. Now, the entrepreneur community is very small, sure. Everyone's very close-knitted, yes. But of course, it also takes like a brainchild, like a business mogul, like Tham and Vincent, yeah. To really be partnering or to consider you guys, yeah. As partners in that. So just out of curiosity, how do you guys know each other? Was it like through, Facebook, or Instagram, these days? I don't know. Tham message you. How did it go along? Yeah.
Well, coffee.
Okay, coffee?
Yeah,
yes,
this is the coffee that that's how I got to know Tham.
Okay.
Yeah. Our union came about through Union Coffee.
So what, you guys are sitting in a coffee cafe and then, like daydreaming?
Absolutely, chatting to each other.
Yeah, for me, it's more of the fact that we are talking to Union Coffee for the promotions with the banks and with all the loyalty program partners that we work with.
Yeah. So yeah, in case that you're wondering, these are definitely loyal fans of Union. if you're wondering, well, what is Union is about, of course, Union it's also owned by Tham himself. So that's right. You are seeing the man behind it. So if you want free discounts or what, please just go and message Tham Lih Chung, right over here. Now, a little bit more on the pressing matters in terms of relationships. Now, in the previous segments, Vincent and Tham focus a lot of the guiding principles,
Yes.
which I was very intrigued to it, and of course, it always goes back to values. Yeah, Bernard and Khalid, could you just share a bit more of your personal ethos in your business, and also your personal life perspective?
Okay. So yeah, I mean, ethos in business and leadership. Again, I suppose we got along like house on fire. We call ourselves the aces. There are a couple of more aces out there. We're representing all of them. We got together because, again, Tham and Vincent's vision was to serve the underserved, right? Whether it's entrepreneurs. They were serving over 10,000 restaurant networks of the F&B owners. So similarly, in terms of, if you take myself, for example, why did we launch MyCookingStory.com? During the tough times, the pandemic, we wanted to offer the Malaysians, the home cooks of Malaysians, two things. One is a great value, which is represented by our quality and low-cost kitchenware, a top quality, low-cost kitchenware. And the second thing is monetization, right? A lot of people were losing jobs. A lot of their jobs were downgraded to part-time. So we wanted to go out to the Malaysians, whether they're entrepreneurs or budding entrepreneurs. We wanted to offer them something whereby they could monetize their skills at home, whether it's cooking, selling food. So again, offering affordable kitchenware. And also we've got an affiliates program whereby we say to the home cooks, you can come on board our platform and sell kitchenware to other home cooks, and you get a piece of the pie. So that's where we were monetizing home cooks. We were helping home cooks monetize their skills, right? So if you ask me about ethos and leadership, that's actually paramount. I suppose that was the common denominator amongst all of us. We call ourselves ACES again, all of us ACES, whereby we really wanted to alleviate the entrepreneurial community in Malaysia, give them a fighting chance. And I personally, actually, I'm a big believer in crisis is always a catalyst. And it can be a catalyst for disaster or catalyst for growth. And I support the latter, which is growth.
Yeah.
Well,
And Bernard, do you have anything to add on? Which,
Yeah.
of course, Khalid has pretty much summed up.
Well, for Nardell, basically what we do is our business tagline is helping to generate more business, helping you to generate more businesses. All right. So as part of the whole business program, we basically bring partnerships, and one of the best network person in the team is Tham, because he's in the F&B business. All right. He has a whole string of history in the F&B, and because of our tagline, that's a good partnership that we can work with together to build and help the smaller businesses to grow together with us and bring them onto the various platforms that we have.
Sweet. So, so just to really give a reference, anyway, thanks for sharing, that, to me, Eatcosys, it's always something very sentimental. And I think that's always the key determinant of what really brings partnership along. And I think from what I heard just now, it's really indeed in sync with the guiding principles of Tham and also Vincent. Now, just to really dive in very much deeper, I think I want to understand a lot about the why as well. Now, so My Cooking Story, for those who are followers of My Cooking Story, they were born really just out of pandemic. As I was mentioning earlier, it was like Khalid wasn't even he was a total social media noob, e-commerce noob, because his business has always been B2B. And when he has gone to B2C, certainly that was an uphill task for you to be managing everything from scratch. Now, within this time frame of 1 year, lots have been achieved as My Cooking Story. Correct me if I'm wrong, Khalid, that whereas you have garnered $1 million of revenue within that very short time span, as well as that you're also able to clinch yourself as the largest digital kitchenware platforms in Malaysia, and of course, not to mention there are strings of online shows. You have also brought in key opinion leaders, particularly in the F&B. So now, while all this seems to be going really perfectly, for you, why integrated with Eatcosys?
So I also believe, I'm a big believer in collaboration, and in times of crisis, there's nothing better than collaboration. I use collaboration to accelerate my business growth. I've used that in the past, and if you've heard me in other forums, my favorite thing is 1 + 1 = 5. Unlike Tham, for him it's 1 + 1 = 11, right? So his dreams are even bigger than mine. So that's one of the reasons I like him, and that's one of the reasons I'm part of this group, right? So I suppose your question was why merge with Eatcosys as a group? I think the first thing is the fundamental is whether this relationship will propel our growth during the tough times, right? Our business growth. So obviously the answer was yes. And how was that going to come about? Very, very simple. We've just gotten into, as Arthur pointed out, we're a traditional businessmen, right? We're traders. And then suddenly, COVID happens, and then we extend. I don't like to use the word pivot, but we extended into a new sales channel, which is e-commerce, right? Again, he's spot on. Before COVID, I rarely had any Facebook following or Instagram. I didn't know much about TikTok either. I was a big LinkedIn man, right? So during the period, we collaborated to get a business up and running within 90 days, which is e-commerce, right? If there was no collaboration, me, myself, and my partner, Gary, who founded the MyCookingStory, we would have struggled to put something up, right? We would have stuck there and watched Netflix and withered away, right? But again, through collaboration, we were able to, bring about a business from scratch and take it out into the community, right? So that's number one. The second thing now we're looking at is where do we go from there? Right, so we see that technology is a big player in the market right now, and technology is propelling a lot of businesses, a lot of traditional businesses are transforming themselves into the technology platform. So instead of actually organically growing or acquiring and becoming a technology expert, one other thing I don't believe in is if I'm not an expert in something, I don't do it. I kind of outsource or collaborate. Yeah. So this is where we were lucky enough, I suppose, to come across Eatcosys, Tham and Vincent, and we found out that they've got lots of interesting integrated technology platforms that could help us propel our e-commerce business. That's number one. Number two is we've got a large retail network that spans across Southeast Asia and Australia and New Zealand, where the likes of Aeon, Giant, 7-Eleven, and so on, regionally. So again, for us to expand that side of B2B business, if we had technology solutions for these retailers, it'll be great, right? 1 + 1 = 11, as Tham says, So again, for that purpose, we've got an existing network. We know some pain points of these retailers around the region, and Eatcosys had the technology solutions and the integrated platform. So that was one of the biggest reasons. Obviously, the second reason is when you want to expand, you need cash. Right? So you need cash. So this is
Look
where
for the money guy.
Yeah, that's
the money guy.
That's my bank. If you're looking for investment to grow your business, that's the guy. Look him up. Right? So this is one of the other things where we wanted funds to grow and expand. Because in our line of business, whether it's B2B or B2C, whether it's MyCookingStory, taking MyCookingStory to Indonesia, all over Southeast Asia, because everywhere there are home cooks and budding home cooks, right? With all the sort of lockdown and so on. Plus the B2B where we run promotions, big promotions with the likes of Aeon and 7-Eleven and so on. There's a massive green field of opportunity where we can take technologies around the region. For that, we needed the funds, and again, Eatcosys has a VC arm and are experts in ECF. So this is where, the second reason why we kind of merged. One of the other things I've also believed is, someone actually giving you a bunch of money as an entrepreneur. Here, take the money, and get a phone call, almost every other day saying, what's the sales like? As opposed to that, I'm more for a strategic partner, and just getting married and working together towards a common goal to achieve the 1 + 1 = the new 11. Yeah. So these are the two main reasons why we merged with Eatcosys. And from that time, I think it's been about 8 to 9 months. I've got to say that I'm enjoying it.
And which makes perfect sense. So, it's only together so you're able to do so much more.
Yeah.
And plus, as well, still being deemed as a baby, so, as a young baby. And MyCookingStory is, like sort of that's sprinted all the way, but it will definitely go to a plateau stage, and probably that's where, at that point in time, so you need more help. And I think now there's no other better time, that you came on board, and you have another 10 more partners, and this whole entire ecosystem will just keep growing by the fact that, knowing how Vincent and Tom functions. Yeah. So great stuff. That's a very wise move. Now, Bernard, yourself, Nardell, you have been running for 15 years, and you're mentioning that this is your fourth business venture. So when it comes to business acumen, you definitely have it there, And you have also made Nardell also a reputable name, as the providers of integrated marketing services. Now, if I could really just plug your brain juice, what was the missing puzzle, the biggest missing puzzle, and how could you see Eatcosys to fill that up, that's something that you've always wanted to fulfill or achieve?
Well, for us, I think there are two parts to it. The first part of it is because Nardell is very much a brick and mortar business. One of the biggest missing piece is technology. And I think we need, as part of the whole Eatcosys group, to use the technology to help more merchants, all right, help more retailers, help more F&B operators. That's one part of the missing
So what
piece.
was holding back with the technology adoption in Nardell?
Well, I'm not a very technology person.
He himself
Okay,
Yeah, so
So
it
he
is
has
very
the most
difficult.
gray hair.
It is very difficult for me to try to tell a computer guy or a coder what to do, how to write his program. All right, I know what we need, but it's for me to translate that into like what a CTO could do. I can't do that. So with the partnership with as part of the Eatcosys family, I would like to be able to and I'm sure we can do that. The other part of the missing puzzle that we are looking at is like currently now we are actually sourcing merchants in 7 different countries out of Malaysia. Short of Vietnam, we have a small team there, but the rest of the team is all here in Malaysia, and we are sourcing for offers in Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar, and Vietnam. All right, and we need partners and collaboration, like what Khalid said, to be able to grow this business, because the potential of moving this business out of just Malaysia alone is very big. All right, and it's much greater if, and without the team, I don't think I can do it myself.
Thanks for the sharing. Yeah, so the magnitude gets bigger, and of course, the only way to scale seamlessly is definitely through technology adoption.
Yes.
All right, yeah, we'll get more into your businesses right now. Let's just dive into understanding one of the key segments and also the perspective of the whole post-merger integration. Now, Tham, yourself, you are a seasoned entrepreneur yourself. You have always been the money guy. You have always been the big guy that everybody listens to you. You have always been leading staff as per se, or rather working buddies with. Now, this time round, of course, you'll be integrating, you have integrated 11 companies, kudos on that. And of course, I could see it's coming more. But you have all these C-suite level people working with you. So share with us, what has been your biggest challenges by far? And let's do a bit of a pre-mortem. What are the challenges that you're going to anticipate dealing with all these C-suite people?
Well, the good thing is we have great partners, right? Okay, as you can tell, Bernard and Khalid, they are serial entrepreneurs. They bring with them vast experience in running businesses, and also they are networked in the region as well, right? So I take comfort that I have great partners to work with, right? Okay, and I totally believe that, okay, I can only work with partners who are like-minded people as well. But respect and trust are very important, okay, when you form partnership. And I would say so far this has been very, very smooth, right? Okay, but being very experienced itself, right? All of us, each of us we may have different ideas in times, right? Okay, especially when it comes to deliberation of certain ideas or certain proposal, right? Okay, Khalid may have some different ideas, Bernard might have another one, right? How are we able to come to the same conclusion, right? In order to extract the maximum valuation or even value out of it, out of certain transactions or even some deals, right? Okay. For example, if let's say Khalid wants to expand to Indonesia, right? Okay. Do we want to do that together, right? Okay. So these are some of the challenges that we might be facing, especially during this period. It's a very turbulent period. Things change very, very fast, right? Okay. Today we might have closed a deal. Tomorrow we might have lost a deal, right? Okay, what should we do next, right? Okay, so it involves a lot of brainstorming every day. We have been talking almost every day, right? Okay, on issues and opportunities as well. But since there are so many opportunities out there, which one shall we grab? Which one are the low-hanging fruits among the partners? And that is the part that we need to come to the consensus and grab it together. So I would say the challenges is coming to the consensus of grabbing the low-hanging fruits and identifying which one to give up, right? So that is a very challenging thing for entrepreneurs, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we're all greedy. We want everything, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But how are we able to pick one out of so many?
Yeah. It's really interesting. So, I mean, it's really going back to basics, right? Like the low-hanging fruit. But too often, I think being an entrepreneur is always that gung-ho-ness, that where you can do it, you want to do everything, you want to grab everything, and that it's always, that's what triggering the main issue in partnership.
Yeah.
The greed, the hope, and yet the desire, the gung-ho-ness of wanting
don't
everything.
forget about the excitement, right?
Yeah.
Look, my partners, they are crazy people, right? Who can't wait to venture outside of Malaysia, especially Singaporean, New Zealand.
Their carefulness kicks in, their formalness kicks in.
Right. Okay. So, but it's very exciting because with all the network that we have, it does open up a lot of doors. Right?
So there is a problem when there's no problem, and how do you mitigate that?
Well, sometimes I will say this is a good problem to have, right? Okay. Rather than sitting there doing nothing. But with all these opportunities, it allows us to start thinking more and more. And not only that, previously there's only me and Vincent, right? Okay, brainstorming. But now, not only four of us, we have Gary, we have Jubin, we have another 7.
And wouldn't that be confusing, Dad? So, when you have more voices, when you have more opinions?
The good thing is, right? Okay, our role do not duplicate, right? Okay, whatever they specialize in, I can't do what they do.
Okay.
Right. Likewise, okay, we have a very experienced banker in our team, right? Okay, when it comes to financing stuff and banking stuff, he's the go-to person. We have a very experienced tech guy in our team as well, like Vincent, and the marketing guy like George, right? So he's the one who go-to guy, right? Okay, so there's no duplication in terms of roles. So that is the beauty of the partnership. So and we always respect them because we acknowledge they are the experts in that field.
Speaking of partnerships, Bernard and Khalid, I always believe in this, and this is what me and William, my business partners, always primarily focus on this. It's the partnership between founders. It cannot be an emotional basis. It's a very logical and rational, and yet sensible, kind of partnership that we want to build. And in order to build this whole entire ecosystem cohesively. And I really need to use the word cohesively because it takes really a lot of that mutual understanding. Because everyone, like it or not, it's like how, even your wife, every individual is all brought up in a whole different environment. Now, what have been the changes that, especially, for the both of y'all, who have been always running businesses with either one or two partners, and how do you intend to take advantage of this to grow and also scale across the region?
So very, very interesting. I think Tham touched upon this, right? Especially for myself, those who know me, pretty strong-headed. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm wild, and I I kind of report to myself, right? The targets I impose, it's for me, right? So when that situation is, it's happened. I mean, I've been in business for about 25 years. So you can imagine, working with, 9 other chiefs, right? So I walk into the first meeting and it's like, oh my God, right? So, so what's interesting, what's been happening is, this is a very interesting observation, and thank you for bringing it up. I think this is a very important lesson or experience, which is when there are so many sort of egos and chiefs in a room, soon enough, right, after the first, second meeting, you would be humbled. I was humbled as a chief. I was humbled by the fact that there are, I'm actually working with experts in specific fields, right? Before, accounting, Khalid or Gary, right? Operations, Khalid or Gary. Dealing with banks, hey, Khalid or Gary, right? Who else? Oh, no one else, right? Have you dealt with banks before? Yeah, kind of. Do you know trade facilities? Kind of. But now there is actually a guy there who's an expert and who can actually do what I can do for retail and loyalty. Do you know what I mean? So it's an amazing, humbling experience. And slightly beg to differ from what Arthur said. It's a process of emotion and practicality and logic, right? So, as the various chiefs with various strengths, we are not Harry Kane, but there is a Harry Kane in each one of us, right? So we're very much experts in what we do, and together, it's a massive explosion. I mean, don't take it lightly, right? There are 10 of us. You will be seeing us at one point or the other, somewhere in the media, or in Bursa. So watch out, because together we're going to cause massive disruptions in the Malaysian market. We're going to power entrepreneurs at various levels, right? So again, for me, that's been the most humbling experience, because I'm actually pretty strong-willed. I've always been, lion in the jungle, but now I can't believe that I didn't come across this kind of collaboration earlier on in my business life. And again, a big thanks to Tham and Vincent, actually, because they actually, what can I say, they motivated me into the partnership, right? And that in itself is a task and a half, and that's why we've got Tham and Vincent to put the right minds together, and together we go somewhere else. We can even go to the space right next to Richard Branson. So that's been my experience.
And when the hurricane erupts to tsunami, so how do you manage that?
Okay, interesting again. So there have been certain situations where we disagree on certain matters. So again, with each matter, we look at who the expert. So we always, in each situation, with each, say for example, a client, let's take an example. If it's a retail client, Khalid, you're captaining this collaboration, and we will get Bernard, Tham, Jubin, the various experts will come and advise you, right? So the ultimate decision for that particular collaboration will rest with the president of that collaboration, or the captain, which is Khalid, right? So that's how we've kind of resolved a lot of things. But often, we're all big boys. We're not kids. So we actually are not afraid to agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Am I right? A lot of the times we have debates, and then after that we go and have a union coffee. Don't forget, union coffee.
Bernard, do you have anything to add on then?
Well, I totally agree with Khalid. When we first walked into our first so-called board meeting, there were, besides Malaysians, there were a lot of other nationalities, from New Zealand, Singapore, and Indians. So it was a eye-opener. But as part of the group, I think for me to grow in part of the group, I was thankful that I got 2 good assistants, Leanne and Evelyn. All right, they were able to step up and took over a lot of what I was doing, and so that I can spend more time together with the group and together with all these amazing partners. So yeah, that was how I see Nardell as part of the group and to build a skill with the group.
Now, I was touching this during my opening remarks. This pandemic has definitely, one really particular thing is we often hear this, no man is an island, right? But really going back to some of my practical senses, the three things that also this pandemic has guided me in terms of business approach. It certainly is on understanding how agile a business model is, and digital adoptions of course it's really a necessity. And I think collaborative economy is such a key thing. Now I see these are really the true patterns of what you're looking for, Tham. Even in all your previous businesses, there's always also been brick and mortar and traditional, right? To think about it, yeah. And you have taken this approach with this whole merger and acquisitions approach for Eatcosys. What are really the rationales behind this, and why you take such a big leap of faith in your business venture?
Well, in fact, this is like my I lost count. Maybe my
God
12
knows how,
or 13
I also lost
venture.
count already.
Yeah.
So.
I've been running so many businesses for the last 10 years, right? Okay, I also have a lot of different partnerships as well, right? But all these past experiences have taught me a lot. That if you look at things right now, ecosystem is a keyword, right? It's no longer about focusing on the particular verticals. But before we talk about ecosystem, are we able to excel in that specific field? For example, like retail marketing, partnership solutions, right? Okay. If you ask me to jump to partnership solutions and do what Nardell has built over the last 15 years, my chances of success is almost zero.
Of course.
Almost zero,
yep.
right? Okay. So I'm a true believer in collaborating with partners, right? Okay. But the most important thing is, are we able to communicate? Is there a chemistry, right? Okay. Because this is not the first time I talk to a retail marketing guy or even e-commerce as well, right? Okay. But somehow, if you can sit down and talk about all the ideas, right? Okay. Seeing all of us like peers, sharing ideas, how are we able to help the community? How are we able to empower the entrepreneurs in the SME market as well, right? Okay. So you find someone right? Okay. Then the only question is, does this business fits into the current model that we want to build? And you know that since day one that you know me, I always wanted to build the ecosystem which encompasses many components so that we are able to extract the maximum value out of it, right? Okay, to provide integrated solutions to the retailers, right? Okay, not only one products but multiples. Let me just give you an example. Because when I run F&B for so many years, right, I've been dealing with a lot of vendors, right? Okay, and all these vendors, they give me a lot of different solutions, but none of them give me a holistic solutions. I ended up taking up too much time dealing with too many parties. But how is there an organization out there which are able to bring value and help the F&B and retail market, right, by giving them a total solution? So far, I haven't experienced any. But again, sometimes as a serial entrepreneur, right, okay, from one industry jump to another industry, I kind of have a feeling that, okay, even if it's a tech sector, right, okay, let me just jump in, right, provided I have a good partner. I found Vincent, right, okay. Then when we talk about partnership solutions, Union Artisan Coffee have been working together with Nardell, right? Yeah. When we saw this, like, the first thing I told Bernard, bro, I would like to bring these solutions to my other F&B peers, right? Okay, I think we can bring a lot of value to them, right? So we start bundling deals together, even though we are not part of the group yet. We start bundling deals, right? Okay, I'm introducing people to them as well, because I truly believe we can bring value to them and help them increase their sales, right? Okay. So likewise, when I met Khalid and we talk about how are we able to provide all this kind of kitchenware products to the F&B merchants, right? And on top of that, how are we able to provide our solution to them as well? And right away, we see another synergy. So by bundling each of them, and we go to the F&B, they're like, wow, now I get a more complete solutions from one party, and you guys communicate, you know what I want, that's easier, so that they can really focus on increasing the sales, right? So that's the whole idea behind it.
Oh, that's amazing, sir. And you're true networkers, and as what Khalid, I just have to echo what Khalid and also Bernard was saying, that you are an integrator, and it definitely takes us a whole set of skills. and understanding a pitfall in a particular industry and how you really integrate. So he's not only the money guy, he's an integrator as well. Now, for those who have just tuned in, a very warm welcome. We bid you welcomes to the Eatcosys as a growth story, the teamwork, and also the post-merger integration. We have really stepped into half of the live shows right now. In fact, 3/4 of the live shows. Yes, time runs out when it's an exciting times, right? So feel free to ask any questions. Those who are tuning in right now, either in the Zoom room or also on social media. Please flash your questions. As you can tell, I'm sitting with a whole bunch of smart guys. So please ask them as tough questions as possible. Crack down your brain juice. So we are picking up questions, and of course, this is probably direct to any one of you guys, but probably primarily maybe more on Tham. You might just want to add on what they said just now. Now, how Eatcosys able to add value and help the F&B retail sector with what you have explained just now by this whole integration of digital and financial solution. And I know when it comes to financial solution, you're very big in the whole fintech itself.
Right. Okay. Well, I think the best way to answer this question is let's just do a case study, right?
Yeah.
And when we talk about digitalization, we are focusing on those traditional, I would call it tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, right? Who have no experience what is digital all about, right? Okay. So now they are running physical store. All the while, 100% sales to come from walk-in customers, right? Okay. So suddenly the pandemic happens.
Yeah.
You have no idea what to do, right? Okay. So we can go to you and tell you that, look, what you need is you need a website. Let me build the e-com for you, right? Okay. Let me build a payment solution for you as well, integrate together. At the same time, this is building. But the most important is skilling up. How are we able to help you to skill up your businesses, not only offline, but online, and through partnership solution as well, by selling your merchandise, your vouchers on the platforms such as DG, U Mobile, Petronas as well. So that is through Nardell, the partnership solutions, right? But how are we able to increase their sales more? Nowadays, we are talking about crossover. You do, okay, I'll give you a really good example, crossover. Like recently, Bentley, they've done a crossover campaign with McKellen. Right, okay. I'm sure you heard about that, right?
Yep.
Okay. So talking about luxury crossover, right? Okay. So it's not just about I'm in fashion, I can't cross over with F&B.
Yeah.
We can cross a lot of stuff nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So by selling F&B, how are you able to push up the spending per head, right? Purchase with purchase. Who say that when you buy a coffee, right? Okay, you come bundled with items like kitchenware.
Yeah.
Like utensils, knives, right? Okay, so that is something that we have learned from the retail marketing solution from Khalid, right? Okay, how he has done it for Aeon, the store as well, right? Okay, and how he has used data, right? Okay, to extract all these ideas and put it in the execution plan. So when we show all this case study to our clients, right, they see that wow, the our stores channels actually is wider than what they expected. But when they face another problem, okay, now I've done this, but I need funds. How are you able to assist us? We do have a licensed money lending company under our group with the intention of providing microfinancing, working capital financing to all these retailers so that they are able to roll for 6 months or even 12 months. Because bear in mind, this is small money, like 10,000, 20,000, but it's very important money for them to have them to kickstart, right? But if they keep growing, they may need a bigger sum of amount, like raising 1 million, 2 million, and we know that short-term fund will not be able to help them to fuel their growth in the long run. Hence, tapping on the equity crowdfunding platform is a very ideal way, and being a beneficiary of equity crowdfunding platform, we have amassed a lot of experience, right? And I've also gotten partners who have done that many times before, and hence we're also able to advise them. How are you able to fund your growth by tapping on the equity market as well, not only the debt market. So you can see it from A to Z, from building, scaling up to financing. We are able to provide the whole solutions under that. And the most important thing is, when you talk about financing, right, we also understand where are they heading to. That is very important. Not just giving you finance, but the intention, how are you going to grow the business? So we take comfort because we are part of their transformation. So when we provide that financing or even introducing a financial to them, we know how are they going to grow. Yeah. So that is how we provide that integrated digital transformation and financing solution.
Thanks, Tom. So, and there you go. So, from the chairman, so, the Eatcosys Group himself, it's really covering up. So you were talking about building, scaling, so, and financing.
Yeah.
So, I think this is where it truly assembles my thoughts as earlier on I was mentioning that at any point of life cycles in the F&B and also the retail business, it supports from all angles and from all perspectives. And truly, I mean, F&B is a necessity for human, right? Yeah. It's when you say it's a cross-selling campaign, it's able to apply in so many ways that I can possibly think of. It goes beyond just lifestyle. It goes beyond than just necessities because it's what we consume on a daily basis. Yeah. So I believe looking forward to the whole creative juice that will be flowing just from the perspective of retail marketing. Now we want to go back a bit of understanding My Cooking Story and also Nardell before we really go into the big numbers. So I mean for Nardell, what is your regional computation like? Yeah. And what is the distinctive positioning as compared to the rest of the competitors?
Well, in terms of our regional competitors, there's a lot of, there are a couple of, I would say a lot, there are a couple of big players like us in the region, in Thailand, in Indonesia, even in Singapore itself, there are a couple of companies like us. I think what distinguishes us among many of our local competitors is the service that we provide to our clients. If you go to Nardell's website, you will see a lot of testimonials about our support, our staff that are trained in a way where they are, they are responsive to the merchants, they are responsive to the clients, and that's the overview of the service and the distinctive positioning that we are taking. Right? We are not like going mass or I'll take one offer and spread it to all our clients. We will negotiate each offer for each client, depending on the promotion, depending on their target audience, depending on the mechanics that they are looking for. So it is very so-called, what's the word that I should use? Because it's very targeted, all right? We don't do mass or pasar malam, we display all our clients and then, hey, see what you want. We don't do that. So that distinguishes us between us and most of our competitors.
So very targeted, and also very customized, tailor-made to the solutions of each and every individual client that they work with. Yeah, so for those who want to check out more on Nardell, of course, feel free to visit their site. Now, Khalid, you have moved from a traditional business model, and of course, now to e-commerce. And just within the spaces of e-commerce, certainly agility and adaptability is what really comes to your mind, on a daily basis as itself. Now, how fluid is it's your business model, and how do you intend to really take this to make it more fluid than ever?
Okay, again, very good question. Made me think a little bit there.
Yes, yeah.
So interestingly enough, I would actually really wreck my head to think about the answer to this question. Yeah. But I'm fortunate today because I'm part of Eatcosys, because they are very rich in terms of technological solutions, and they've also got a massive database of customers that we didn't have before. For instance, the thousands of restaurants or F&B outlets that they serve. Right? They're all potential customers to us, and again, the technological solutions and capabilities that the group has is conducive to a highly scalable e-commerce business like ours, right? But again, I just want to warn you something, the viewers or the listeners as an entrepreneur. It's very, very important to focus on value, right? So our proposition at mycookingstory.com is value, and for me, I define value as quality, relevance, and price. Right? So when all of this
quality, relevance, and price,
yes. So all of this, when they come together, that represents value. And right now, when there is not much cash going around, and people losing jobs, value is paramount. So you can have all the agility, mobility, all sorts of technology and stuff,
still
but if
goes
you're not
back.
delivering substance,
Yeah.
it's not going to work out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's what you said. So I'm actually a little secret admirer of MyCookingStory. You know, there are times that where I will just go to the site, and it can be very addictive because I mean, honestly, cooking was one skill, and I can speak to all on behalf of a lot of men. And I think even yourself as well, I think you did mention too, you know, and my business partner as well, that men started picking up cooking, right? And by just going to MyCookingStory, the value, it's actually very valuable. And sometimes it's like, it looks too good to be true. So there are a couple of kitchenware without telling you, of course. Yeah, I was discreetly purchasing a few items. Didn't put much expectation, but upon arrival, I was actually astounded with the quality of goods that MyCookingStory truly delivers the quality and the pricing, and of course more importantly the values as you mentioned earlier on. Now we do have a question, or probably maybe an explanation from one of our live viewers. So Dr. Azizar, she's a global networker. Hello, Dr. Azizar, all the way from Singapore. So she's sending out a message, very inspiring, and love the word. Extending instead of pivot. Yep, absolutely so true. Evolving, extending, and innovating. Very passionate team. Valuing each other is too important. Kudos to all of you. Some of the words of wisdom from a global networker, and she's none other than Dr. Azizar. If you could,
thank you so much, Doctor.
Yeah.
Catch her also in Clubhouse as well. She's every day in Clubhouse. Yeah, too much airtime for Dr. Azizar herself. Now let's back to the guys then. I think this is the part that where we are using the last fractions of time to really dive deeper into understanding some of the numbers. I mean the financials really look good, but I think now let's get up close and personal with our chairman to really go more in depth with the numbers. Now, Tham, this is a pre-ECF round this is a pre-IPO round via ECF. Now, when do you foresee Eatcosys will be listed?
Well, of course, hopefully we can be listed by end of next year.
Oh,
Or
okay.
latest by 2023.
Is this the 1 + 1 = 11 right now? So can I bring you back 1 + 1 = 3?
One latest by 2023. I think that's very achievable.
Okay.
Really. Okay. But given the fact right now the capital market is, as opposed to a lot of people that think that the market is very volatile, which is true, but at the same time it's also very vibrant.
How many companies do you see by the time that you are going listing on the ACE market? How many? So now you have 11 companies. By the time when you go listed, how many companies do you anticipate?
Well, I will say it could be about 11, right? Same 11, right?
Okay.
But the number of services or solutions, right?
Fair enough.
We might have extended to like 15
For sure.
or 20, right? Okay. Why? Because the more we work together, the more people we talk to, the more we realize that, okay, we need to provide more and more solutions to help them. Right. Okay. So by the time we go for listing, in fact, I will not be surprised if we are able to triple our numbers, so-called our profit after tax, right? By then.
Okay. Okay. So now understand that also listings will be held on ACE market, right? And any thoughts I'm going to there's some insider jokes. So any thoughts on going to the main board? And are you looking beyond the just Bursa, any regional? Now what would be also the business model differentiations to really get Eatcosys to go listings on the main board?
Right. Okay. As a very seasoned ex-banker and also corporate player in town, right? Okay. Realistically, we will be listed on ACE market in Malaysia right now. Okay. Even though we do get invitation from other players in Australia or even Hong Kong, right? Okay. But because due to the fact that more than 90% of our revenue are still derived from Malaysia as of today, right? Even though we have the regional in our mind, we intend to expand outside of Malaysia. We can't wait to do that, right?
That's good. Bring the money into Malaysia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, and because this is not the first time, most of our partners have ventured outside of Malaysia, right? We know how it looks like and what to do in other countries, right? But it's just waiting for the right time, the right financial resources. And when that happens, by 2024, I'm quite confident you can transfer to the main board. And with that main board listing status, that will be form a springboard for us to go up to let's say Thailand, Indonesia, and start striking joint venture deals with the strong local partners there, and start bringing our solutions to those countries as well, right? But what differentiates ourselves from the other companies in Malaysia? I'm just talking about Malaysia itself. We don't focus on vertical products, right? Okay, we are a total integrated solution provider, focusing on both retail technology and also financial technology as well, right? So you might have seen some fintech company listed on Bursa like GHL, Revenue, respectable players, right? They've done so well, and we have the new one coming on board end of this month, Eatcosys, which is the blockbuster IPO in town, right? Okay. But then you have the other spectrum of the other players like Kiskapi or even Nardell Global Tech, which focus more on the retail technology. All these players are doing well in their own field. But by combining all the solutions together, I would say that, okay, we are the field in Malaysia who are able to do that, right? Okay, so that is how we stand out. And by the way, we are also the leading retail marketing and partnership solutions players in Malaysia as well.
So I understand the three main pillars now. So you have your F&B, so on the retail part, you have your data management, and you have your fintech as well. And can I say, so you're right enough to say that the fintechs, will be actually the largest components, or probably grow the fastest as the time to come, when it also goes listings, to the main board.
Right. Okay. Let me just break it down to you for you in detail. We have the platforms division as a service, and then we have the technology enabled services division as well, and then the fintech. Right. Okay. Currently, the largest contributor to the group still the platform as a service. That is the largest contributor. But moving forward, the fastest growing division is the financial technology division, right? Which encompasses the money lending, the payment solutions, and also we also have a venture capital arm which is registered with Securities Commission as well, right? And not to mention our alternative funding solutions, helping our retailer, our clients, right, be it whether they are in the e-com market or physical stores, to help them to raise funds, right? So these four divisions are growing very, very fast under that fintech division. So I anticipate in the next 2 years, financial technology division could be the major contributor in terms of our profit to the group.
Yeah, so from now to Ace Market, are optimistically, you're looking at end of next year. And when are you targeting on the main board listing?
Well, looking at 2024 to be transferred to the main board.
Okay, all right. Tham, I'm sure that now you got the investors excited, so you got our live viewers excited. So I believe that you have some things to present to us. There's some things that you want to dive even deeper. So could you just walk through us some of the investment offerings and also the financials as well? Yeah.
Sure. Happy to do that. Right. Okay. Arthur, may I?
Okay, there you go. Please do ask your questions, and right now we will be flashing on some of the showcases of numbers alongside with the presentations of the financials. For those of course who also would like to express interest, we'll be flashing the CTA links for you also to express interest in the comment box. Over to you, Tham.
Right. Okay. So maybe let me just walk you through some of the solutions that I mentioned just now. Okay, if you look at these graphics, right? Okay, so basically it shows you from A to Z what we are able to provide, from funding to if you're looking for premises to set up your stores. Okay, even looking for utensils, knives as well, kitchenware. That's where you can get from MyCookingStory. And also we also provide retail management solution as well, which includes the point of sale system, the e-com, the website development, and when you want to go to the market to promote your products, your brand, you can go to be listed on our Food Advisor platform, which is a food discovery platform. You can even get your events or even catering deals through our event space booking platform, VMO. The catering booking platform, Feed My Guest, is also a leading catering matching platform in Malaysia as well, which we are able to bring caterers catering deals, right? Then of course you need data. The more data, the more transaction you generate, the more data you need to analyze it. So that's where the point of sale system and also our business analytics system comes into place, right? But not to mention, don't just focus on in-store sales, right? Outside of the store as well, that's where Nardell will come in to provide the partnership solutions, the loyalty marketing solutions to the retailers so that they're able to enhance their brand awareness, right? So if you look at our numbers, last year our revenue is about 30 million, right? We did about 2.4 million. This year we're looking at about 52 million revenue and about 5 million profit after tax. And next year we're looking at about 7 to 8 million. So if based on next year numbers, right, we are very close at trading at about price earnings ratio of 10 times. So because currently we are only valued at 70 million. Maybe just to give you a perspective, what does this 10 times mean, right? Okay, basically it shows where we stand compared with the other peers who are listed on Bursa Malaysia right now, right? Okay. So as you can see, the other peers, they are trading like 50 times, 77 times, 70 times, right? And why is that so? Because first of all, technology stocks are high growth company, right? That's why they are able to command a very rich valuations from the investors, right? Okay. But compared to where they are, 50, 70 times, we are only trading at 10 times at the moment. So which gives us a lot of huge upside, right? Okay. So potentially, our current valuation of 70 million today, it might translate to $500 million to even 1 billion in the next few years, right? Okay. So these are our key investors, who includes 500 Startups, which is a Silicon Valley-based venture capital corporation, and also Credit Fund, which is owned by our dear Ministry of Finance. Both of them have invested in us in 2017 and 2020 respectively. And I would say that they have been very supportive and a strategic partner for the group. And they have brought a lot of value to us, right? Okay. And how are we able to grow, right, in order to deliver returns to our key partners like 500 Startups and also Credit Funds, and also for those investors who put in money since 2017, right? So this is a growth matrix to show that how we have grown, right? And what are we going to do next? We're going to acquire a few more companies in order to complete the ecosystem that we have in mind, to provide more solutions and services to retailers, and with more merchants, more solutions, and more usage of platforms, that will give us more data. And what we're going to do with this data is, we're going to mine it, right? So that we are able to assess their borrowing eligibility and also to assess their repayment capability as well, so that our money lending division can lend them money. So all in all, this will all drive positive spillover effect to the whole group in terms of profitability and also revenue. And just to show you our history, since 2014, we started from a very, very small, something they call it shop lot e-com platform, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm not kidding. 2014, our revenue is only about 40,000. That's how we started with event-based booking platform. 2017, we are humbled by the investment from Credit Fund, right, at the valuation of 3 million. In 2020, we've integrated a few more platforms under the group, which includes our catering booking platform, our food discovery platform as well, and it has formed that F&B service tech platform in 2020, which has attracted 500 startups, right? And in 2021, this year, we have finally, formalized all the partnerships that we have together with Khalid and Bernard, and all together, this is the formation of Eatcosys. And today, we are worth 70 million. So to just put things in perspective, for those investors who put in money in 2017, what is their gain like as of today? They have gained 5.5 times, net gain 5.5 times, right? Okay, but we are looking at an IPO somewhere around 2022 or 23 at a market capitalization of 150 to 200 million. And we aspire to grow it to $500 million in 23 and transfer to main board at 1 billion market cap in 24. I know it sounds very ambitious, but with the partners that I have in being, and together with the knowledge that we have, together with the network that we have in the regional, in the region, I believe this could be understated numbers, right? So just to share with you the audience and family and friends in front of the Facebook Live here. Okay, so this is our offer page. Currently, we have launched it on Funnel. Funnel, which is a regulated or licensed equity crowdfunding platform by Securities Commission. They are the largest private capital markets in Southeast Asia as well. We are very proud that we're able to partner with the equity crowdfunding platform in Southeast Asia, and with the endorsement, our pre-money valuation is about 70 million right now, which gives us a price per share of 13 cents. And currently, we are issuing instruments in the form of e-redeemable convertible preference shares, right? And anyone who wants to take this opportunity to come in to be our partner, they only have to invest at a minimum amount of 4,940 and ride together with us to embark on that IPO journey. Yeah. So
there you go. So you heard the money guys are as ambitious as the numbers are, as may be big as the numbers are, and you heard just now that Tham builds his life through 1 + 1 = 11. But no fret, guys, because this time round, here's other 10 more partners will knock on his head and come back to senses that, hey, after all, 1 + 1 equals to 2. And if you like the value and what exactly Eatcosys is doing, do express your interest in the chat box right now, as where the links is flashed on the screen. Or if you are watching the replay at the comfort of your house, do click on the links that appears in the comment box, or flash it on the screen, or more or less you can speak to the InvestAQ teams, and they will be arranging one-to-one session on a virtual basis, of course, due to the current lockdown. And that's where the Eatcosys teams, primarily Tham and Vincent, will be going more in depth with you. So check it out in the chat box and comment box, wherever you are watching right now. Now, Tham, I only have one last question to you. Now, you are targeting the retail investor, and personally, 5,000 ringgit Malaysia, it's not a huge amount. A lot of the urban knights, of course, can afford, and of course, those the value that you have created in just the whole entire industry perspective, certainly it takes more than that. And I understand that you're giving this opportunity for retail individuals, the layman people, to participate in this pre-IPO. Now the two questions, sorry, a bit grady, two questions, which I think is also important. So now it's at 13 cents, and we go listings what would be the price be?
Right. Well, we hope that when we go for listing, our price should be about 20 to 25 cents, right?
Okay.
That is my expectation.
Okay. So there we go. By end of next year, when Eatcosys goes listing, it will be 20 to 25 cents, which I think it's very practical. You double up your money, and when it goes to main board, what will be the price be? Because it's already 1 billion market cap.
This is not the only question you asked me. All my partners have been asking me that questions, right? Okay, and based on my projections, right, with the joint effort from all the partners, I believe it can reach about 1 ringgit 50 cents.
Okay, 1 ringgit and 50 cents. Yeah. So there you go. It's doubling up your money. We in the next 18 months, and in the next 3 years, you were able to multiply your wealth easily by 10x to 12x itself, and Eatcosys as a ringgit. Now, my real question that I really want to ask you would be this. I'm a retail investor. I don't have much resources. I have very limited understanding in investment. But I also understand there's a lot of investment avenue out there will provide me with high liquidity and probably a risk that I could mitigate. Convince me why invest in Eatcosys.
Okay, I would say the key guiding principle is always, are you able to sleep sound at night when you invest in certain things, right? Okay. Yes, the liquidity in the market may provide you that thought that, oh, if today I want to liquidate, I can. But it also means that, okay, because it's very volatile, right? Okay, you're unable to liquidate at the price that you may want, right? It also depends on the price that you're entering, the stock that you're buying as well at this point in time. They could be trading at that 50 times or 70 times. As compared to where we are today, right, okay, see it as a slightly long-term investment horizon of, let's say, 2 years, right, okay? But you can sleep sound at night because you know that from 10 times to 50 times current price earnings ratio, that will give you a potential returns of about 5 times over the next 2 years. So are you willing to wait for 5 times returns over the next 2 years, or you want to enjoy that liquidity, but to ride during that turbulent period like what you're experiencing right now, okay? And because the price has been moving very, very fast, and it also affects your emotion every day, which you're unable to sleep sound at night. So for the smart retail investor out there, okay, I'm sure most of them, they'll rather wait and enjoy the upside without thinking too much about the volatility in the market. Yeah. So that is the beauty of investing in a pre-IPO company.
And there you go, so, you have heard from our panelists today on the Eatcosys as a growth story, the teamwork, and also the post-merger integration. They have shared their winning formulas on the working dynamics. They have shared on the numbers, the strategic plans on the roadmap to our IPO. Once again, to all live viewers, or also to viewers who's watching the replays at anywhere, in the event, you'll believe or you see the values in what these panelists have talked about. Give them the leap of faith by taking the first step by expressing your interest. Give them the vote of confidence as they still will be supporting Malaysia, truly Malaysia boleh, since they are going on the main board of Bursa Malaysia. So there you go, ladies and gents. Once again, I'd like to thank all the panelists for joining us this wonderful segment today. Thank you so much, Khalid from MyCookingStory, Bernard Tian from Nardell Group of Companies, and of course the chairman himself, Tham. So with that, once again, I thank all of you for tuning in, taking your time off, and also we hope that this segment has brought you valuable insights. In the event you want to speak to any one of us, please feel free to express your interest or just drop to say hello to us. With that, thank you so much once again, and take care, stay safe, and stay sane. Ciao.
All right.